Hey everybody, what's going on? We're here with some Element Fission, and we're going to talk about a free-to-play boxing club 10 team. This team will carry you all the way to and through 10 and farm it for you. It is not a speed team, but again, it's very free to play. Everybody's level 50. The gear is not really that crazy. I think the craziest thing on this team right now is my Popo rider, but if yours is half this speed, it will be fine. Her speed is not making a huge difference here. I could probably even just for the hell of it, let me just pull her slot 2 rune off. There. We'll run her like this for now. Just so that you're 100% sure that this will work. So this is the team. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start the run. I'm going to let it go. And when we get to the boss, I'll be back and we'll talk a little bit about what everybody's contributing to the run. Then we'll talk about how to gear them, what stats to look for, and some ways that you can speed this up depending on what your roster looks like. All right, so we'll be back when we're at the boss. All right, we're back at the boss. Also, look at the clown's feet. And I'm sorry I had to do that to you, but if I gotta suffer it, so does everybody else. So you can see the run again. It's going to be very consistent. It's very safe. We have our healer in Occult Dancer. She's loading us up with heals and shields and a single target cleanse occasionally. We have our sharpshooter, who is going to be doing some damage, putting up a defense down, removing the attack buff. Good timing. We have our Popo rider, who's just helping us turn cycle, speed buff, attack down, defense down on the A2. Steel Wing doing a ton for us here. Steel Wing's kind of the MVP of the run. Defense attack buff, got a AoE slow, so towers and boss get slowed. And then dots on the A1, and that's one of the keys to the run. If you keep Steel Wings alive, you're gonna win, because he'll just dot the boss down. And then the clown is just making things a little bit more survivable and backing up Occult Dancer in the heals, right? Giving us the crit dampen. Very solid support. I think the clown is going to be pretty good. I think the water clown's really good for heavy metal as well. I've been messing around with that. But this is it. This is the run. And you see our sharpshooter got kind of low for a second, but when you see the gear, you'll understand why. You can almost certainly gear these champs better. So it's a 4-minute and 20-second run. And again, we'll talk about some ways that you could speed it up depending on your roster. No speed. Those are both kind of doo-doo, honestly. Them's both kind of doo-doo, baby. All right, let's talk about the units and how they're geared and what you should be aiming for when you're gearing them. Okay, we'll start with Steel Wings. There's going to be a theme that you'll notice for most of the units that we're using here, and it's speed, HP, and accuracy. Those are the stats that we're looking for. So it's going to be no different on Steel Wings. You're going to want to have a decent amount of speed. They don't have to be blazing through the stage. You see we're at 152 on Steel Wings, and it's working out fine for us. We're at about 15,000 HP and 55 accuracy. And again, we've got the dots over time, which is kind of the key to the success of the run. If you keep Steel Wings alive, you're going to win. He's going to dot the boss down. We have the AoE slow and turn meter absorb and the buffs for the team. Everything this unit does in this run is incredibly important. Probably the most important unit in the run, okay? Moving over to our sharpshooter, you see she is very squishy. You can almost certainly build her better. I deliberately put like lower quality 4-star runes on her that weren't really optimized for the run. And I would probably lean a little bit more into keeping her alive than I would her doing damage. Her being able to do damage is handy. I wouldn't full tank her up, but I would look for some HP percentage in the substats, because you really want her to stay alive primarily because of this. You really want her to be able to get that attack buff off of the boss. That's going to make your life so much easier. Catching a hit when your whole team has defense down on from the boss when the boss has an attack buff is rough. And if you don't have an attack down up, that could be the end of the run. It's a pretty rough hit like that. So our sharpshooter also not fully skilled up. You should really aim to have the A2 skilled up. I don't. And again, it's just a testament to how safe the team can be. She is very easy to skill up. I just didn't do it for some reason. Okay? You should do it though. If nothing else, the A2. And again, a little bit of speed, good amount of accuracy so she can strip the buff, and some balance of HP and attack. This is working for me. The run has never failed. I've tested it a bunch to make sure that it was going to be good for the video, but there's no reason for you not to shoot for a little bit more HP. If you get her at like plus 4,500 even, probably guaranteed, probably literally 100% of the time, you won't have an issue. I don't have an issue either, but no reason not to bump it up because my gear sucks on her. Popo Rider. Oh, right, we took her speed rune off. We need to put that back on. But you could see she was at plus, I believe, plus 74. Without it, you don't even need that much, to be honest. But if you were going to force a set onto anybody, a Swift set onto anybody on this team, I think Popo Rider is the one to get the Swift set. Generally, in the early game especially, you want to be focusing sets over stats. You don't necessarily want to try to force a Swift set. It's only 20 speed. If you get real lucky, you can do that in one piece of gear. So don't force a set. Worry more about the stats than the sets. And if you happen to have sets that complement the stats, great. But if anybody was going to be forced into a Swift set, I would say it's Popo Rider. And again, we're looking for speed, HP percentage, and accuracy. I'm a little lower on the accuracy than I would like to be here, but that's what we're working with. And if I haven't made it clear yet, it goes without saying that pretty much on all these units, the slot 2 is going to be speed, the slot 4 is going to be HP percentage, and the slot 6 is going to be HP percentage or defense percentage. And if you absolutely need it and can get away with it as far as tankiness is concerned, you can go accuracy. It shouldn't really be necessary though. But HP percentage or defense percentage, I personally prefer HP percentage because if you're very heavy into defense and you cut your defense down, that's a wrap. It's over for you. So HP percentage if possible everywhere. Again, sometimes it's not possible and you got to do what you got to do. But that's it for Popo Rider. Occult Dancer, kind of an interesting unit here. I think it was Dragon. I think their name was Dragon. It's like DR and then it's like a funny looking AE. They're the ones that brought this to my attention in chat the other night. So shout out them. I'm sorry that I can't remember your full name. I think it's Dragon something though. She does enemy max HP damage on the A1. So with her, you want to prioritize HP and speed. She needs to stay alive. She needs to be fast enough to turn cycle and heal, and she needs HP to heal, right? She needs good HP and speed. However, if you can find a little bit of crit rate in her kit, you see we're at 63, you'll be surprised at the damage she puts out. She can kind of pop with that A1 if you put a little crit rate on her. So again, do not sacrifice HP or speed to do it. But if you can find a little crit rate for her, go for it. I have a couple of decent crit rate rolls, so that's why we got her to 63. It's not mandatory. It'll just speed your run up a little bit, right? Occasionally when she A1, she'll do a little bit of damage. And then for the Joker, much like everybody else, speed, HP, and accuracy is what we are looking for. He is also not skilled up, and skilling him up would be pretty helpful, right? He could heal a little bit more frequently if you skill the A2 up and keep the crit dampen up basically permanently. Better chance to land the attack down, which is going to be pretty nice, and then a defense down on the A3. Everything he does is nice. I think he's kind of a slept-on unit. I hear a lot of people saying they don't like the clowns, and maybe that's because of the feet, but as far as utility, they're pretty good. I'm using the water clown at level 50 in my stage 10 heavy metal team right now, so I think the clowns are dope. And again, same build on him as everybody else. So that's it. Very easy to do. You can almost certainly build them better. Again, I was kind of deliberate in trying to use like 4-star runes that weren't even really optimized for what I was looking for, and we were still able to achieve these builds. So you can almost certainly do it better if you just kind of follow the guidelines. Now, as far as speeding the run up, if you have Bookworm, who a lot of people this is one of the units that a lot of people are re-rolling for. Obviously, Bookworm is going to help you clear waves faster, so just build them for damage. Speed on the slot 2 is a pretty safe way to go. If you happen to get some really nice speed substats, you can go attack percentage here, and then crit rate or crit damage here, depending on what your gear allows for, and attack percentage in the slot 6. And he'll help you speed up the wave clears and pump a little bit of damage into the boss. The swap to make, I would say, would probably be sharpshooter or clown. You could try clown, and if you're finding yourself struggling to have your occult dancer solo support the team, then I would put clown back in and swap out sharpshooter and see how that goes. But I would say those are the two that you would make the swap for. And then if you get Nenrat, obviously same thing applies. Get Nenrat in the team, stack those dots. And then if you eventually want to try to graduate into the Nenrat pirate team, go for that. But we're not talking about that in this video. And then if you're like me and you can't stop pulling tree twin blades, you could throw one or two of them in your in your B10 team. He's on my actual B10 team because he's also got a great kit for it. He's got a defense down with target max HP damage on the A3. And very, very straightforward, simple kit. He kind of makes himself stronger as the fight goes on. Great unit for it. So if you happen to have one lying around, he's fantastic for it. So my team is Occult Dancer, Popo Rider, Steel Wings, Twin Blade, and Bookworm. Okay, if you're wondering, that's what my team is. And he's built like that. He's in the Vampire set. The game gives you a free Vampire set at some point, and I just threw him in that. So that's it. That's pretty much all I have to say about it. It's a very reliable team. It's a very easy to build team, and all of the champs are very obtainable. Don't get too hung up on the speed of it right now. I think there's a tendency to want to have a speed team right away. Get the consistency first, and then as your gear improves and your units improve, you could start to work on the speed a little bit and maybe eventually work your way down to one of those 40-second teams or something that everybody that's wailing out a little bit is able to run. But don't get too hung up on the speed. You want consistency over speed, okay? So that's it. I hope that this was helpful. If you've got any other units that you think people are sleeping on for Boxing Club, please drop them down below. I'm sure people would be very interested in hearing it, as would I. I would appreciate that as well. Other than that, if you want to check out the tier list, it's being worked on every day. It will be linked in all of my videos moving forward. So the link for that will be below. Link for my Discord's also down there if you want to hop in and hang out and ask questions and participate in conversations about the tier list. Link to my stream. All that stuff's down below. I hope this was helpful. I appreciate you guys watching. I hope you have a good one, and I'll see you in the next one.